There we go. Well, welcome everybody to tonight's super easy kind of trade room. I hope you're all doing really, really well. If there's any pairs you want me to look at or any questions you may have, definitely feel welcome to step up and ask me what you're thinking. So I know somebody wanted to go over brokers. Let me check his message. Let's see. Oh, more questions about the ADX. I can make another video on the ADX, but I made one on the ADX, I think. And you guys can watch this recording, so then he'll have the answer. What you're looking for is you're wanting momentum to be above the 40. I mean, that's really what you're looking for, something like this. When momentum is above the 25 minimum, when it starts to peak out, that's when you're going to get these huge moves, is when there's a lot of momentum. You're going to get, this is a GBP pair, granted, but when momentum is down here, it's not as trustworthy as a signal. So your first signal is like the cross of the colors, so the buyers and sellers line, the negative DI and positive DI. And the second thing you're going to want is you're going to want momentum to be facing up and preferably above the 2025. If it's already that high and you get that crossover, you've got a really good strong signal, something like this. So we had all this momentum and you got that cross. All this momentum and you have that cross. So it's really self-explanatory. I think like once you get to know it, and it's super accurate too. It lines up really well with a lot of currency strength meters, and it lines up really well with the money tree string and like the 8 and 18 cross, depending on what system or setup you're using. So yeah, let's check the chat real quick. Hey Phyllis, how's it going? I got your message. So what pairs you guys want to look at tonight? Let's see. Anything at all? You guys gonna step up and ask questions? You're gonna make me talk to myself. Let's see. Back. Anybody there? We're gonna get more yawners tonight. If you're chatting, just step up and talk. Euro NZD. Hey, Christopher, I can't always see the chat, so make sure you step up and talk.
Okay, I got it.
I'm in this for the sell. I got in this, so I've been selling it all down.
Yeah, I just peed a little while ago. I was worried about getting back in. Did it break support?
So, like, wait, you'd want to wait for us. Well, I don't know, we've got a 4-hour dot now, but my assumption is this is going to break.
Yeah.
Because these are not like super momentum candles, but it's a lot. It's a big move in general. Like, so this is a momentum candle, and then you drop after that another 52 pips. So this was a nice move. But if you kind of scroll in, it had a nice little pullback to kind of retest the 50. So you had a nice little pullback, a lot of indecision, wicks, hammers, and dojis, and now it's dropping. So we'll see what it does if it kind of comes back up to retest the 50. For this, I would pop down to like a smaller time frame and just wait for it to do a healthy pullback. That's all. I'm anticipating this will continue down because NZD got super strong, but even like NU is kind of pulling back right now. So we have a big arrow on the 15-minute chart. I don't know how much more it's going to break though. I mean, I don't know because NZD's got a lot of power right now. So my first guess is it's going to keep dropping before it does a big pullback. Because this is also the NZD session. This is the Sydney session. So, but I don't know for sure. My guess is it's going to drop until the end of Sydney and then kind of do a healthy pullback during London and decide what it wants to do after that.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a sell, I mean, you can do a tiny position now, but you'd have to have a pretty big, a decent sized stop loss. Because if you're going to the last amount of structure, that would be here, 16 pips. I would personally put it like up here, like around 50 pips to give it enough room to pull back because this is a fast mover. So 50 pips is about half of the average daily range.
Yeah, I don't want to get back in unless it breaks it. So I don't know if I would put a sell stop there or just wait for a pullback.
I am not a super fan of sell stops, but what you could do is once it breaks the next fractal level, a friend of mine trades this way. I don't personally love it, but I know it works super well because you're always right. But once it breaks that fractal, so it breaks the low that it just made,
Yeah.
it's a lower low. Problem is usually when it breaks it, it pulls back. So we do the same thing here because it did technically break this low and it broke that low, right?
Yeah.
So it just literally happened. We're waiting for a pullback and then it should drop again.
Maybe I'll do a limit order and just catch the pullback.
Yeah. I mean, how big would your limit order be?
Like 0.2 or something like that. Something small. Nothing major.
No, silly. How far away would it be?
Maybe the 50.
On the 15-minute or what time frame?
Probably that one, 15-minute.
So 20 pips away?
Yeah.
Well, you got to think the 50 is going to move, so 15 pips away. Yeah, that'd be good. That would be good. I like this pair. I'm in this pair.
Yeah, I got like about 100 some pips out of it today. I just took profit a little while ago, so I got in it way at the top last night.
Nice. Nice. I got it on the 15-minute. I'll go back to that pair. Everyone's looking at OddCAD to see what OddCAD's going to do, to see if it's going to drop really heavy during the news. We don't know that for sure. But I think the majority of the news is done, so, or the heaviest part of the news, I should say. Not that it's all done, but I think most of it is. If this would drag and drop nicely, please.
Let's look at gold too.
Yes, sir. I don't usually take a lot of trades around this time. Like I take most of my trades early New York, or like that hour after Asian opens. I almost always miss the London session because I can't sleep if I mess up my sleep like that, and then I'm just a zombie. So that's where I caught mine, was when it broke the 50 on the 15-minute chart. That's where I got it in at.
I caught a Euro NZD at 0.7230, I think is what I caught it at.
And what indicators did you use, or what confirmations did you have?
I used the tweezer tops on the 4-hour, and then I just waited for pullback and support up there. I kind of just
Good job.
price action.
Good job. That's awesome. Way to go. Okay, awesome. You guys want to look at gold? Let's see. Who's been using the flip-flop strategy? Anybody at all?
Hey, I tried it today.
Who's this? I can't see your name today.
Sorry, it's DJ.
Hey, DJ, how'd you do?
Actually, I got open on my charts. I had to leave real quick, but I was up 5 pips last time I checked.
Yeah, the purpose of that strategy is you always protect the bag. I've got a couple people who are at 100% accuracy right now. A couple people are like 1 and 2 weeks in, and they're at like 2,000% growth on their account, or they're on day 14 of that compounding sheet. Like they're killing it really, really well. One guy took a loss yesterday, but then like I think he doubled his account today alone. But his stop loss was too big, so it was like it's the simple mistakes that usually knock us out. It's doing really, really well. Another professional trader is 12 and 13, I think. So pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I did a back test of it, and you were right. It is really accurate.
It is accurate, and if you put a couple management tips in place, like you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, then it protects that little bit of a percentage for error. It'll protect it enough to where your accuracy should somewhere be in the definitely high 80s and 90s, for sure. So
What strategy is that?
that's the flip-flop strategy.
Footfall? No, I didn't get it.
It's in the group in the Google Drive. It's on my YouTube. Pat's right now, he's working on a PDF, and Irving's been using it. So like we kind of, so we increased. His original one was the overbought, oversold RSI set of 14. His original one, I don't know for sure, but when I tested this to that strategy, I had like a 70% accuracy. So when we tweaked it a little bit, we sped up the parabolic SARs. We waited for the 50 crossover. We sped up the RSI and we added the ADX. So when we tweaked it, so like according to back testing strategies, like on TradingView and on MetaTrader 4, it has almost like a 93% accuracy in terms of back testing. Now, mind you, that's a computer, so we're not as perfect as a computer. But even if you can apply some humanistic management tools, you should be very, 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 very accurate. For sure. So, okay, we're looking at gold now. So who wanted to look at gold? What time frame and what are you looking for?
I'm looking to sell it.
On the 15-minute chart, it's got a wick here and it's trying to break down. So you've got 2 wicks to the top, which I like. So what confirmation did you have in your chart to sell?
The support level. I looked at the. I think I was looking at the Stochastic. I looked at it earlier. I'm in profit now. I mean, I'm in profit pretty good.
So 1, 2, 3. Like, so if you got in somewhere over here, we have 1, 2, 3.
133, 113, 34, 59.
4. You got in at 134.
13, 34, 59.
So you got it on this candle, or maybe you potentially caught the tip top of this one.
Yeah, I set a limit order on off the 30-minute. It was an engulfing candle, so I just went halfway up that candle and caught the limit order.
That's my thing. Like, I like limit orders much better than stops because it's a better entry. And then if you miss the entry, oh well, right?
Yep.
So this engulfing bullish candle, bearish candle.
Okay.
Okay.
I took half of that one and just let it drop on me.
You'd put like a limit order, like 50% of that. Okay. Because this is a momentum candle. This is what we're looking for. This one would have went against you because it would have continued up.
Yep.
By 43 pips. But it's the same concept. It's still very, very accurate. So if you add like a momentum candle, an engulfing candle to your strategy, and you get in around 50%, not only do you have a great entry, but yeah, that's a great way to do it. Good job. How many pips were you up?
I don't really know how to count the pips on gold, but I'm up like, I got a 0.2 lot for a 0.20 lot, and I'm up $20, so I'm okay. I can protect my little gains right now.
$20 on 0.02, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a tiny lot size, so that $20 on that is awesome. So way to go, that's awesome. Well, okay, yeah, it looks like it's so. I'd wait for it to break the 50 because a lot of people are still trying to buy it. I mean, when you get down to the psychology of it, like for gold, you got to think everybody and their mothers are waiting for this to drop. So the market wants to manipulate this pair. It is very, very high. Now, granted, I'm not an expert in any means, but I do see this on. This is the 4-hour chart. So remember, the higher time frame always trumps the lower time frame. So whatever's going on the higher time frame, that is far more significant and accurate. So let's see, this momentum candle. This, what is that like pattern right here? It counts. I forget the name of it, but the bigger candle, and then smaller with the wick. What is that? I want to say it's not a doji, it's something, but
it's an evening star, right?
Yeah, kind of. The body's a bit big to be an evening star, but they all have all kinds of weird, funky names, but I don't know what they are. I just know that that's meaningful of some kind.
Yeah.
Big momentum candle, though, is still bigger than any of these other next candles.
Yeah.
So if we're just looking at regular candles, I'm sorry?
Inside bar.
Oh, that's right. That's what it is. Inside bar. Yep, you're right.
I think that's it, yeah. So like when this is bigger, this is bigger, and this is tiny. Some guys trying to call this like a martini or something. Like there's so many names for so many things. Like I don't even know anymore. They make up stuff just to, call it theirs. But this means something, basically. What I see though is I see this candle is, give or take, we can underestimate 70, 80 pips. It's still bigger than any of these other candles.
Yeah.
This one's only 50. So, I mean, could you be right? Definitely. I mean, there's a high probability this is going to drop. Very, very high. I just don't want to play with it primarily because of the amount of market manipulation that goes on with gold. And since everybody's waiting for the pullback to sell it, and that many people are trying to sell, you don't want to think you caught this big momentum candle right here. This momentum candle, this engulfing candle. Yeah. I'm willing to bet there's millions and millions of dollars riding on a sell right around here. So right now they've got these people in drawdown for 120 pips. Again, those are big lot size people, so potentially millions and millions and billions of dollars. All they have to do is push it up a little extra to catch all that money and then drop it. So I don't know what I don't know. I have no idea, but that's just me. I'd wait for confirmation for sure. Like for gold, I want to play it safe. Just based on the way gold is a very psychological currency. So I'd wait for a full break of the 50, a retest, and that's what I would consider an entry on gold particularly. So, because it gapped down, like there's so much in this that I don't know if this gapped on other brokers, but let's see. I don't know if that gap ever got filled either. I guess it, no. Does anybody else see a gap on gold? Or is it just my? Anybody at all?
I see it.
On your broker, do you see it?
Yeah. Using it. Is that AFX?
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the same one.
I wonder if TradingView has a gap. Let me see real quick. I'm going to go on my phone. Does anybody else have a different broker up on their charts where they can take a look?
Yeah, I have the gap on mine as well. I see more.
Hey, Peekaboo, I can hear your guys' conversation. I definitely don't want to be rude and eavesdrop. Hey, Akram? Akram, Peekaboo. Hey, I can hear you. Everybody can hear you. I'm going to mute you. There you go. Haha, I got to control my VPS. Okay, so Edward, was that you saying you had a gap? FX Choice, it's a gap. CoinX, there's a gap. Yeah, so I don't know. If you're up, just protect your profits.
Johnny, I'm with IC Markets and I don't have a gap.
No gap, huh? Let's see. On one of the brokers on TradingView has a gap too, so there's quite a few maybe kind of gaps. I don't know for sure, because that's kind of the tricky part of gaps. I got taught a major lesson, so I no longer love gaps so much. I learned my lesson, but if this is a legit gap, it has not been filled. So either way, in terms of gold, like for the guy who's in profit, move your stop just marginally in profit, and then if it goes for you and you're right, then you potentially made like $200 give or take, depending on that broker and lot sizes and leverage and blah blah blah.
That's what I just did. I moved it in profit.
There you go, and you're safe. And that's the only thing you can do, because there's a very high probability that you're right, because I'm all about like probable odds here. But other than that, like FX Choice has one, CoinX has one, so I've got a couple people in the chats. Let's see. You guys, if you chat to me, maybe try to step up. I'm adding the daily dots for adding the 4 hour. And it will not show up in the indicators unless you change the name. Pat has his dots in the morning. Hey, Doug, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so you're saying that you added the super easy dots twice, right?
Yes, like you said originally, but it didn't show us two indicators in the indicators list, so I had to change the name of it, and I could add it that way, and I put in the different time levels. But then I saw Pat this morning, in his webinar, and I showed where his daily dots like interconnected. So I'm just wondering, how you just drag it onto the screen twice, because when you drag the same, indicator on indicators list on your chart twice, it doesn't show up twice. Now I'm using CoinX as well.
Okay, so check it out. Hold on. Give it a second. So every broker is different. Every platform is different. There's like about 100 different variables that anybody who pretends they know is, either extremely foolish or potentially very wrong. I'm sorry. So I've got that set on my chart twice too. So let me see. Delete.
I could add that indicator twice once I change the name, but for some reason to me on my CoinX demo, when I tried doing like you said the other day when I asked you, it wouldn't let me add it twice until I changed the name of it. Like I put Super Easy 1, Super Easy 2, that way I could add it that way, but I couldn't do it just by adding the same indicator name twice.
I'm not sure why. I've never heard of anybody else having that problem, but you wouldn't be the first person to have an unknown problem. So, I mean, this is like, it's a whole industry. So I'm sure there's 1,000 things that we just don't know. But like for me, as you can see, I can drag and drop a moving average on here 78 times if I want to. I can drag and drop pretty much any indicator on here as many times as I want to. Like, are you sure, like when you clicked it and you went to the indicators list, that it wasn't there, but maybe you needed to change its color? This way you could see it? Like,
No, I've been trading for a long time. I've dealt with tons of MT4 platforms, and I've been using Cornex even before I joined this group. So I don't know what to say. I mean, it's other than, you know, I'm very familiar with the MT4 platform. I just couldn't drag the Super Easy SR on there twice like you have it. I had to change the name for some reason. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I could contact them, but you know, right now, you know, the platform is working fine, and when I change the name, it works. So it's just kind of one of those question mark things where, you know, I don't know either.
I wish I had the answer for you. I definitely don't, but at least you found the workaround.
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty tech savvy, so I figured that out. I just noticed this morning that Pat had his dots interconnected and like the 4 hour and I think the daily, and even though I've got my different dots showing up on different time frames, you know, as y'all explained, but mine aren't interconnected. So I just wonder how he did that, as opposed to, you know, just having them on the time frame for just showing up for, you know, 4 hour, daily, 1 hour, whatever else you want.
Okay, so Kat in the group said the input needs to be different though, otherwise it will only appear once. So I'm not quite sure what they mean by that, but maybe that's something you can chat with them about. But either way, the good news is you got it fixed. Some of this stuff is so like out of this world and exclusive to us. Like for some reason right now I have this trailing stop issue only on one platform, only on one broker. Like if I log into a different broker with this platform, it works just fine. If I log into the same account on a different platform, it works just fine. But some reason only that account on that platform is not allowing me to do a trailing stop. So like it's that really weird kind of thing that makes no logical sense of what would be happening to make that an issue. But we all have things like that we kind of have to troubleshoot, and it's I guess it's part of the trading. So you might even know more than I do, having worked with MT4 for a lot of years. So that's all we can.
I've used a lot of different brokers, and some brokers, they are set up a little bit. You would think MT4 would be the same across the board, but unfortunately, it's not. Some brokers set their platform up a little bit different, and some of them have faster servers than others, and some things just work better on other brokers than, you know, others. Just kind of that mystery you got to try to figure out with some of these, and you know, other than that, you just go to the chat support sometimes to talk with them. But I mean, I can work around, you know, a lot of stuff pretty good. But just this morning, I noticed how Pat, it's like you got your dots right here interchanged. You got the green and the yellow. I don't know why mine's not doing that. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's a setting or why mine aren't interconnecting like that.
I wish I had the answer. I definitely don't. But maybe chat with Kat. Maybe she figured out, or they figured out something that we don't know. Because that's all we can do is just put our heads together. Because you're right. Like, and every broker, they work off of different servers. So like this one, my AAFX works best off of New York's server in terms of the speed of your MT4. So like if your computer server is based out of Colorado, your MT4 is going to be slower. You want to change your computer service, like you would call your internet company or your VPS company. Hold on, I'm going to mute everybody, and then if you're not talking, mute all. And if you're talking, you guys can step up, just so we don't have your background noise. We definitely don't want to eavesdrop on whatever y'all got going on. So, okay, but anyways, that's what I would do. So in terms of speeding up your MT4, find out where your server's coming from, or your VPS server, because you can customize it. That's what makes a VPS is so great, is because I can customize the server to a certain location, so my MT4 works super, super fast. So just an idea on that part, at least for the speed part. But I hope that helps. Hey, somebody wanted me to look at Euro GBP. I will check the chat again. I only get to see it sometimes. Let's see, Euro GBP. Phyllis, you've been in for days in the 4 hour. Okay. So can you step up and talk by chance or no? Phyllis, are you there? Peekaboo. Okay, well, they're not answering, but I will analyze this trade. Chat. Sorry, too noisy. Okay. So what I'm seeing, like if you've been in this for a couple of days, give or take, I mean, that's 1 day. This is 2 days. This is 3 days. So were you in longer than 3 days or no? This is 4 days. Let's see. When did you get in? At what price or what day or what? So you got in on Friday, so 3 trading days-ish ago. How far in drawdown are you? Or are you in drawdown? Because this is 1 day, 2, 3, 4. It's only Wednesday. So even if you got in here, let me see the chat. The ADX is the average directional movement. That's correct, Steve-O. What price point did you get in on, Phyllis? You're welcome, Steve-O. You guys can hear that trading view alarm going off. Sorry, I'll get that turned off. 75.34. So kind of without staring at the chat. Oh my gosh, you've been in since, well, we're on the 4-hour chart, so that's a long time. Hold on. So did you have a stop loss in place? $75 is like, what, 1,000 pips ago? Hold on, what number did you get in at? Because that 75.34.7. And you're talking about Euro GBP, right? Am I on the right pair? 75.34.7. Do you, I really wish you could talk. Do you realize that 75.34.7 isn't even on my chart? Like, so that would have been, you mean 875? Was it 875? Phyllis, are we looking at the right pair? Because you said Euro GBP for a sell. You've been in for on the 4-hour since Friday. And now you're saying 75.34.7. So that was like, do you see the price of Euro GBP? Euro GBP is 87 cents. Down here it's 85 cents, and this was in April. So I don't know if we're talking about the same pair. Okay, yeah, you get the information. Sorry, guys. We're just going to wait for her to get the information. Anybody else waiting for this to drop?
I'm waiting on the drop for that one too, on the sale.
Yeah. Are you in profit or no?
I'm not even in it. I'm not in it yet. I'm just I was trying to find a good entry. I'm not in it.
All right. Hey, Kat, Derek, yeah, that's definitely a different pair. I have some ideas, but I don't want to speculate, and I'll let them speak up. But in terms of Euro GBP, which I guess we'll kind of analyze while they're getting their information together, it's 6.4, got in at 8.858. That makes more sense. Okay. I was going to say that must have happened like a decade ago or something, because, and the decimal's wrong. I was like, I don't know. Not going to work. 8.858, huh? Let's see. So right now you're about 40 pips in drawdown. You got in somewhere around here. 8.858. Guessing somewhere in this area. I mean, I really wish you could talk, but so 30 pips drawdown. 8.858. Okay, well, I don't know what you saw when you got in, but if you got in on this candle, we're just going to take a wild guess because you can't talk right now. So we're going to draw a line there if you got in on Friday. Again, 4-hour candles is 4 a day or 5 a day, whatever. I know what I'm talking about, kind of. So when you got in on this candle, I don't know what confirmation you had or what rules you were following, but why did you take this trade? Because on the 1 hour chart, we would have saw, I'm assuming there was a big arrow here. And this was starting to cross the zero. If you had moved your price into profit, you may have been able to protect enough pips. Okay, well, cool. If you take a picture of your trades, like, we can go over them, we can analyze them, and that's an awesome thing to do. And then you'll be able to see kind of everything that happens. Like, so no trade is perfect, but if you had got in a little earlier, I mean, so once you had, for instance, 4 hour support, money tree turn green, you would have had maybe a big arrow, little arrow, and down here you had a nice crossover way back here, okay? So this move started happening for sure in this area. So if you see a move that's this big already, you're waiting for a pullback. This pair only moves 47 pips a day. So if you see a pair that you're like super excited about and you want to enter, this made already half of the average daily range. You'd wait for a pullback. And on this case, you would have waited for that pullback. So either A, you would have taken a small loss, okay, depending on how you trade or where your stop loss is, or B, you would have saw it was still going and there was too much upward momentum to decide to turn it around. But getting in here, this is kind of, it broke the 50, which is great. But the whole point of that is to protect your profit. So it broke the 50 on this. This candle closed below the 50. This is a very, very slow mover, but it's worth a lot per pip. So if we really zoom in here, without you being able to kind of talk and converse about it, this is the candle that closed below the 50 moving average. So you would have gotten in on the next candle. That would be like the very latest you'd be willing to enter. So if that had been the case, that's maybe 17, 18 pips, depending on the spread and whatever for that broker. Once you were a little bit in profit, you move your stop loss up into profit. And then worst case, it resets and you get back in. That's how I personally trade. That just increases my accuracy. So I don't mind, like, if it came up, wicked my stop loss and then dropped. I don't mind if I missed the huge move. I do mind taking a loss when I didn't have to. So that's the only thing I can really tell you in terms of like what you did without being able to talk about what you saw and why you entered. But if, for instance, you were entering based off of the 50, this would be the candle you were entering on. Because usually once it breaks the 50, it's going to have a pullback. Hopefully you got a pretty high entry. Either way, you would have been 15, 20 pips in profit. And if you protected that, you'd be good. Now, in terms of what it does for moving forward, let's see, the euro was selling off today. I know Tom and I and a lot of people in the group actually were in that because of Pat's class. So, but it made a pretty big drop for measuring the whole move and did a healthy pullback. Oopsie, to 12. So let's see, how big is that pullback? I don't like how that wicked to the, that's a really good pullback. That's the full daily range. Let's see. Sorry, my real estate agent is messaging me. I don't like this wick to the bottom, but in general, I mean, I still think this is a good trade, a long-term trade. But for long-term trades, this is the kind of thing where you pick it on the 4 hour, you have a pretty big stop, and then you forget it. Like, you have to set it and forget it like Pat, which is harder to do for a lot of people. So I really hope that answered your question. Let's see.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey.
It's Sylvan. Just, I'm looking at your chart, and that wick, it's not really on my chart as well, so I'm not sure. Just to let you know that candle with the long wick, that
This
one there.
candle?
Yeah, I don't have that. So it might be a broker.
What broker?
I'm with IC Markets.
Okay, cool. Does anybody else have this big wick? Well, I was around for this wick, so I saw how big.
Oh, mine too.
Euro dropped hard, so I made a decent amount of money when Euro dropped hard.
Yeah.
And then it just came up.
Just wanted to let you know.
Thank you. And that just goes to show that every broker is, extremely different. So learning to trade, on your platform is essential. So, hey, Randy, what do you mean? Oh, were you answering somebody else? So I'm like, I don't know what you mean, hit the print screen. Oh, okay. Sorry. You guys are talking to each other. I wasn't sure. But anyways, I still think this will drop, but I mean, when or where, there's no guarantee. So like, preferably you would have been in profit. Now you would have been in great profit if you took that entry anywhere in this window, and you would have held if you took this entry based off of the Stairmaster and held. Let's see. I do have to answer this. Cool. Sorry about that. So yeah, I do like this trade in general, but ideally you would have gotten in on this big impulse. 50% of that's right here. Again, kind of tests out perfectly. Then you would be in profit right now, and you would just be holding. If it came back and kind of touched your stop loss, you would have gotten back in, based off of the double arrows here and then the break of the 50 here. And granted, this is the 1 hour chart. If you would have gotten in on the break of the 50, I don't know if I would have taken that trade primarily because of this huge momentum candle up. I don't know if I would have preferred this one, but I don't know. So, does that answer your question, Phyllis? Let's see the chat. Awesome. I'm glad. DJ, good job. You're down 6 pips. It's wicking up, so it's rejecting the 50. I'm waiting for this to drop, and momentum is spiking, so something big is going to happen. We don't know what it is for sure. I mean, we can speculate. That's kind of our job. Let's make this a little bigger. So as soon as that crosses over, it's going to drop. And you have your buyer's line still facing down. So like this one can zigzag all day long. But when the opposite direction actually points up, so if this points up, then be wary. But right now this is pointing down. So yeah, I'd be waiting for a big push. All right, next question.
Hey, Jenny, it's DJ again.
Hey, DJ.
Hey, I don't have a question. Actually, I just wanted to touch on that 10 pip flip trade I took earlier. I just checked it, and I actually, the trade closed, I was up 18 pips. So, yeah, it's working really good.
Not bad. What was your take profit set at? 18 pips or not?
Actually, I took the trade on AAFX, so my spread was like 4 pips. So I moved it up a little bit higher than the 10 pip profit. It was at 10 pips initially, but then before I left, I seen price making its way up, and so I just kind of just adjusted arbitrarily and just kind of left it. So I don't know exactly. Obviously, I set it at 18 because that's where it closed.
Clearly. Not bad. Yeah, it's deadly accurate, and if you use some good management principles, I mean, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. So, and you can combine it with this. Like you can go in the direction of the 4-hour dots or the daily dots. Pat's working on a system right now that will send you an alert to your MT4 on your phone when these dots appear. And if you combine, like, so you get the first dot, the first dot's a little bit untrusting. However, if you got that first dot and then you checked on your phone for like that 10 pip and flip kind of thing, or this was from a training, so this is a mess, a way mess. Let me take this off. And you lined up, then just take the trade for 10 pips. That's it. Just 10 pips. And if you happen to be watching the trade, you can stay in it provided the candle stays above the 8 moving average, okay? You can stay into it until it closes below it. If you're not watching it, huh?
That's a little coincidence. That's actually the pair I traded it on.
Nice. Did you buy it or sell it?
I bought it.
Nice. Way to go. See? We're waiting on this pair because Odd has news coming up. But this is dropping, so.
I think Odd just hit.
Did you sell it?
No, I didn't.
Did you want to?
I do, but now it looks like it's too late.
You see this wick coming up? Some brokers, look at this spread widen. That's crazy. Like some brokers like won't show you the wicks, which is actually, I don't know, It makes it easier on the eyes, but somebody said news already happened. Makes sense because I don't have that on my calendar, which is pretty accurate, but something's happening with odd. See this? Does NZD have news? Because NZD usually messes with odd too. That's huge. For not a fast mover, this is a huge candle. And if your broker doesn't show you the whole wick, then you can't see the whole move.
Hey, Johnny here again. It was 25 minutes ago, employment news on odd.
Yeah. But this is what's happening in this, this is the 15-minute candle, yeah. So this news, just because on the calendar it shows you 1930, sometimes that report doesn't get released until 1937, or, you know, maybe it doesn't get released until like 10:30. So that can happen. That's just the time it's anticipating. Odd news already happened. It was 9:30 Eastern time. That's what time it was scheduled for. This is what's actually happening though. So that report might not even have been released to their media or their, you know, government system or whoever's in charge of whatever. The employment change, that might not have been released until now. This is the aftermath of the news. Everyone waits for that to happen at the exact time, but that's not realistic. When is our government ever on time with a speech? Ever. Ever. They start at 9 and then all of a sudden you have 20 people coming up, you know, having something to say about something. Sorry, wait for that to close. And then like 35 minutes later, you'll have our president actually come up and say what he was going to say. That happens in every culture. So this is that news candle. That is what it is. And it wicked down just like we thought it would. It didn't hit the stop losses. It's still respecting that. So for everybody who's looking to buy, actually it made a lower low. Let me move this out of the way. What do you guys think of odd CAD right now? We know that on the triple arrow system, we were all waiting for it to buy, right?
Still waiting.
We're still waiting, huh? Let's take a look at odd JPY real quick for whoever asked. Boom. Hey, Sylvan, did your broker show you this big move? Did your broker show these wicks or no?
Yeah, I've got that. It was just that one that we were talking about, but all the rest of it.
I was just curious. Thank you. Yeah, that's a big push down. So whoever, were you trying to buy or sell odd JPY? That's nasty if you were trying to buy it. That's not good. Luckily, it's not a fast mover, but that's not good. Who was it that was asking in the chat? Was that Sticks? Were you trying to buy this? Peekaboo. I super adore talking to myself. Let's see. So your stop loss didn't get hit yet? Well, because now that we have that really confirmed lower low, you'd be looking to bring this a little bit lower. Well, maybe not, because this is right where that daily dot is, the previous resistance. If it breaks that, get out. If it breaks that low, you gotta go. Let's see. If I wasn't on this call, I would be checking out the GBP pairs right now. Well, because they were all kind of setting up. That's what all those alerts are coming from, was my trading view. So odd CAD, this didn't get hit either. Not yet. I know that Edward was trying to see if we could buy this. He got out pretty safely, but if it breaks this, you gotta go. Definitely gotta go. You're welcome.
Hey, Jenny, it's DJ again. Hey, there's a way you can set up an alert that tells you when price crosses the 50 EMA.
Uh-huh.
Could you show us how to do that?
Yes, I can. So let me first look at this pair from somebody, he said, try JPY. That's a pair? It goes to see how much I know. So that would be exotics, right?
Yeah, that's the Turkish. Yeah.
I've never traded that. I know that like USD try is a thing, but I've never even seen. Is that what it's under? Is try JPY?
I've never traded it, but yeah, that's what it is. I've never traded it.
That's weird because I've never traded. I mean, I've seen like USD try.
Well, JP would be the first position in any pair. So,
Huh. Maybe mine has it as JPY. No. Hey, guy, I don't think I have that one on this broker. Because I've got GBP try, got Euro try. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, you guys can see what I can see. Sorry, I've never even seen that pair. Steve-O, you said that try JPY is a thing on your broker? Try JPY on the 4-hour USD try. Do you guys know a different name for this pair?
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Steve-O.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, that's how it is on my on the platform that I use.
What platform are you on?
Oanda.
Oh, okay. Well, I can look at USD try.
Okay.
At least get an idea of what it's doing.
All right.
I guess I'm already showing that, so we'll close this. I have no idea about that one because I've never traded that one. I traded USD try a long time ago with IMO. I kind of started liking that one, and then the USD ZAR, but only a little bit, only for like those scalps. And as we know, scalps can be super dangerous, so I got away from. And scalping one of those exotic pairs is even worse. So that's just not good money management. Okay, what do you see and what are you looking for?
You talking about the dollar try?
Well, yeah. So if you're trying to, what are you trying to do? Buy or sell the try JPY?
Oh, well, let me go back to my chart here. I'm looking at it on the 4-hour chart, and I see my triple arrows up top for indicating a sell, and all my indicators are showing that it's about to drop. It's in a downward trend on the 4-hour time frame as well as the daily chart, and it started down. It did its pullback, and now looks like it's just over the peak of that pullback and about to drop some more. And I was wondering if I was mistaken, if it was a good time to jump in on it or not.
You want to share your screen?
If I can figure out how to do it.
So I'm going to hit stop share, and you're going to go to your Zoom, and you're going to hit share.
Okay.
Because like I can see what I can see in terms of USD try, but it should theoretically be close to backward. So if you're trying to sell,
okay.
Let's see. So go to share.
Okay, I just clicked share.
Yes, sir.
And okay.
I see your name. Now it says Steve-O has started screen sharing, so let's take a peek. Okay. You're on the 4-hour chart.
Yeah.
Your yellow arrows are huge. Okay.
Yeah.
So what candles are these again?
These are
like trend or trum or something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did Irving set you up? What kind of candles? What kind of candles are on your screen? Are these regular? These aren't regular candles, or are they regular candles?
As far as I know, they're regular candles. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Okay. Well, just making sure, because I don't want to like tell you something if you're using the funky candles. Okay, so draw a trend line. Yeah, it looks like more like Trump candles. Yeah, cat, it does.
Okay.
They're definitely not regular candles.
Oh. Okay. Does that make a difference?
To you, you're doing great. So no, to me, yeah.
I got you. I wouldn't say doing great, but.
Well, listen, like I can tell you what I see, but you got to be able to see it. Like I can't make your eyes see something that doesn't. So let's go ahead and kind of zoom in a little bit, or maybe close your market watch real quick. Let's draw a trend line.
Okay.
What's the spread on this pair? Yeah, Derek, you could right click and look at the indicators, but I'm not super worried. But either way, because I can tell that the down candles aren't all red and the up candles aren't all, so I'm pretty sure these aren't regular candles. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm human, but yeah. But either way, Steve, I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit, like to where you see more of your chart, or zoom out. I guess zoom out, yeah.
Okay.
Now draw a trend line.
All right.
No, how about you draw that uptrend? So double click on that red bar real quick. Right click.
The one I just drew.
Yeah, no, right click. Let's take off the ray. I just learned this from another guy in the group. I think it was DJ or somebody. I don't want to give somebody else credit, but some awesome person in the group showed me how to do this. So you deleted it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to show you how to do something cool I learned. Okay, you see how this yellow arrow, this green, yellow, green, the buy arrow going up? You see how that at the bottom?
Oh, down here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing all those GBP drops, you guys, seriously. Go down. So go down there. Draw a trend line up. Kind of. Now double click on it and right click so we can take the ray off.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, what is GN doing right now? I'm in GN pretty heavy.
Let's look at it.
Hit trend property.
Say that again?
I was telling Steve to hit trend properties.
Yeah, hit trend properties. Go up. Go up. Go to parameters. Okay, unclick that box that says Ray. I just learned how to do this myself, so now press OK.
All right.
So now stretch that out from like where you see that big arrow that's buying. Now I would go up, drag your mouse up, 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 stop, down, down. I'm gonna draw on your screen. I wonder if it will let me. Will it let me? View options, annotate. Ooh, check this out. I can draw on your screen.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so check this out. This is a trend, right? Give or take. I mean, it's your screen, but you're not using regular candles, so the price isn't going to be perfect. But either way, just to give you an idea, this is the idea. You have a trend going up, right?
Yeah.
These candles aren't 1,000% accurate, but you're basically going for 1, 2, run it through kind of mentality. So it touched, it touched, it touched, it touched, and then it broke. Came back up and retested that trend line to sell. So does this look like a good sell to me? It does. Like without using the 50, yeah. No, I don't know this pair. I'm not familiar with that country or currency at all. But could you get your pips out of it? Probably. Like where my stop loss is, so if I entered it right here, my stop loss would go here. I would have a take profit, around 50% of that original move, like somewhere around here. Again, this isn't my chart setup, so I'm just kind of showing you what I would look for. Once I was in profit, let me change the colors and make it yellow. I'd then move my stop loss up to protect some of that, right? And then I could move my take profit down if I wanted to, if I still saw a lot of downward momentum.
Okay, I understand.
So you've got your momentum facing up. Again, you don't have any numbers on there, so I don't know exactly what it's doing. You're breaking the 0 line on the MACD on the 4-hour, which is very, very powerful. You've got your triple arrows, your money tree string turned red. Your candles are funky, so I can't speak a lot about that. But that's kind of, if you can see what I would see, that's enough of a confirmation for me. Because again, I can't teach you guys to use every single thing I use. It's about learning to use what you use effectively. Does that make sense?
I understand. And I was going to ask, what do you suggest I change these candles to? I was under the assumption that these were regular candles.
Well, no, hey, wait. First off, Pat uses those, so if you like them and they work for you, you should use them. And that's great for you. I just don't personally use them. So no, there's nothing wrong with the way you see it. So a lot of people like these trend and what is it, trend and Trum and Heiken Ashi even, because they stay the same color all the way up. So there's a lot less noise and scary psychological emotion going up. However, to me, I'm missing out on a lot of information. But if you don't know that information, you don't know what you're missing out on anyways. So no harm, no foul. I like to see a little better. The changing colors of the candles, like for regular candles, doesn't scare me like it does some people. So for right now, if you're just starting and this works for you, you should work this.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would say as you get better and as you become a more proficient trader, you should learn real candles.
Got you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jenny.
You are welcome. I'm glad I could help you. You can stop sharing your screen now. Okay. Let's see. I'll get back to my VPS, share, and now I'll check y'all's chat.
And sorry for holding up the group, everybody.
Oh, no, guys, that's what we're here for. Okay, that's the best thing we could do. GN is dropping, but nothing major yet. Back at yesterday's low. Doug said that you can expand the candles to a normal size. I'm not sure what that means, but you could ask him. Like, I would expand the chart to make it look a little cleaner, but yeah. I was waiting on a lot of the GBP pairs to drop. All those alerts you see here going off, that's what it is. GBP, NZD. NZD had a big power. So a lot of these had a lot of power. And that's essentially what I'm looking for, is this powerful amount of momentum. And this played around with the 50, but this is on the 4-hour. What is it? Nope, it's on the 1 hour. Huh. But this is the kind of thing I'm looking for. So on GN, it was a beautiful, perfect move. Perfect entry. Made a ton of pips. So if it comes back and retests this 50, if it comes back and kind of retest 50% of that engulfing candle, that's where I'd be looking to enter, and I'd sell it down. Let's see. But yeah, this is the kind of thing I'm looking for. That's confirmation. And we have a strong break. So we've got a nice healthy pullback. We don't know for sure what we'll do, but that's what I want to happen, is this strong kind of move. Exactly. And now GN is still pushing down. I'm in this trade really heavy. I was not happy with GJ, so I'm not in GJ. GJ is not my friend right now. Not at all. Not at all. All right, is there another pair you guys want me to look at? Or next question?
Yes. Can you look at US oil?
Oil. Let's see. I got some alert on my phone about news. What are you looking to see on oil? What time frame, what method, and what are you looking to see? We see a pretty double bottom.
Looking to see if it's gonna push up.
So on the 4-hour, what do you see? Really strong selling power, right? This is the 1 hour again. Whatever. That button is clicked. But on the 4-hour, you see strong power to the downside. It rejected the 50. I don't like how that candle is so much bigger. I don't like how on the 4-hour there's a wick to the top right at this resistance. That's kind of telling me it might try to push through. Are you in this trade currently?
Yes.
Did you buy it?
Yes.
When did you buy it?
I think it was like maybe like 2 or 3 hours ago.
Why did you buy it? 1, 2, 3.
I bought it because on the 4-hour I saw the dots, and I
Okay.
think on the first on the 1 hour thing. I'm not at my screen. But
So like, if you were asking me, because all I can do is help you improve, at that time, you have one confirmation out of like however many billion possibilities. So you have, well, 2 if you're counting the big arrow. So you have a big arrow, dots. Assumably this wouldn't have been there yet though, because this didn't appear until this is what time o'clock? This is 8 o'clock. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Yeah, that would have appeared. She would have had a daily dot. She'd have 1, 2, 3 confirmations, right? But what you don't have is, like, I don't know what's on your chart, but I can guarantee you don't have the money tree line turning green. You definitely don't have a crossover on your MACD, probably not on your RSI, crossing the 0. It's definitely nowhere near crossing the 0 on the MACD. You don't have an 8 and 18 or 8 and 19 cross. You didn't cross the 50 or the 35 according to Uncle Pappy, and you didn't break a trend line. So like, this trade doesn't match enough rules for me to buy it. Does that make sense?
yes.
There's not enough. I have no confirmation yet for me to say, okay, now I'm going to start looking for this to turn around. It has some, but this is where people are losing money. Like, so with no harm intended, with nothing but very, very loving and gentle critiquing, okay? Like, we see a few things we like and we're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally going to take this trade. But there wasn't enough things to love. And especially if you're going off of candlestick patterns, again, I don't know what candles you use. This has a powerful move to the downside. So until I see an equally powerful move to the top, or at least something that breaks this structure, so it breaks this powerful candle, I'm not looking for buys here. Because this whole thing is telling me this is selling. And it's selling hard. Think about it. It took probably twice as long for it to make this move. So this is the 5th to the very tip top is the 10th, give or take, you could even say over here, right? So this took 5 days to make this move, right? This move from the top, from the 11th to where it's at now, the 13th, this move took 3 days. Same amount of move, right, in terms of distance or pips, but this took literally half as long, or way less than half, a third as long. So somebody in the group said entering trades when the trade looks like it might be ready, but ultimately it never was actually ready. So yeah, this was never actually ready to buy it. Not according to the 1 hour chart, not according to any of my confirmations. I just wouldn't have enough proof. So it doesn't matter what other things I add to this. If I add the RSI, it definitely didn't break the 50. If I add the 8 and 19, like on Pat's original triple arrows, it uses the 8 and 19. It definitely doesn't have a crossover. If I add the 35 moving average, which is part of Pat's Uncle Pappy system, it definitely didn't break that. Definitely didn't come close to the 50. Even our parabolic stars is still telling us to sell. So when you got in that trade, there's still a lot of things telling you it's still selling. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, so you add to your rules. That's all I'm hoping to do is help you get to the point where you add to your rules and you're like, okay, I see enough now. Now I have enough confirmation that I can trust this. This just isn't enough confirmation. Like literally almost 0% of the time is price going to make a drop and then make a complete reversal. If you're looking for a reversal, you're going to have a lot of this first. And look back in history on any pair. Okay, we have consolidation and then it moved. It almost never just moves and then moves and then moves and then moves. Like it doesn't do that. Can you guys see my mouse when I do this?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I'm not acting like a crazy person. JPY just broke. Yeah, I see a friend of mine was trying to buy that today. I said to wait to get back in until there was enough confirmation. And of course the response was, hey, there's a double bottom, there's a W, there's a market maker method, da 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I have enough confirmation. And what did it do? It kept dropping. So, okay. Yes, ma'am. Oh, actually, 1 second, guys. Sorry, that was my daughter. Okay, let's
take a look at GA.
USD is crashing, GA.
15-minute flip flop.
Everybody's saying US 30. Oh, GBP is going strong. That's probably that Australian news that pushed it really hard, huh?
Yeah, I was looking at when he was talking earlier. I seen the crossover over the 50, and I was just a demo account. I went on ahead and took it. But
Nice.
what I'm afraid of, it was, am I being blindsided on this? Because one thing I didn't see coming was the news, but all the setups were there. So we have the cross the 50, the RSI above the 50, the green buyer's line was above the 25, and the white showing power.
And you bought it. No, I would have bought this. So again, in comparison to that last trade we just looked at, check it out, okay? In comparison, hey, thanks guys. This is way funner when you guys call out pairs. Maybe we can go to my live account and I'll actually take trades. It's a lot funner than playing in demo, at least once you learn. So like, according to this, again, I can't say what you see. Every price a little different. You at least, pretending we can't see that crossover, you do see price turning. You see a crossover here. You see momentum going up. It bounced off the 50. You've got 1 arrow, 2 arrows, give or take what you saw. I mean, so this even has more confirmation than that last trade would have had. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is more. But definitely tighten up your stop because a lot of the GBP was getting weaker. So that's why everyone was saying that GBP was selling. Because, well, I know that I was in profit on a couple, but I had some pretty good trailing stops on that broker. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There we go. GBP, NZD. So GBP, JPY dropped, and NZD is kind of playing around, huh? That's a momentum move. And on the 1 hour chart, that's awesome. That is awesome. Do you see how strong up the seller's line pushed?
Wow. Mm-hmm.
That's strong. So if you're looking to trade, you have to have enough in your account. Like measure this move. So there's, wait a minute, this is only the first 15 minutes of that candle. I'd wait to see how big this wick is before I decided. But I would measure half of that. When this candle closes, measure half of it, put a limit order, a sell limit, and write it down. But you want a really good tight entry. This looks like a full-bodied candle, so it's definitely a good one. That's crazy. That one, so that first 15 minutes of this candle moved a total of 1,000 pips.
Wow.
That's insane, guys. So it broke the 50. You had enough kind of confirmations. If you were kind of looking, depending on what time frame you were on, broke the 50, dropped down to that 15-minute time frame, you took that. That's amazing. But anytime, like this one, of course, wouldn't have worked out unless you held it. But even the times it doesn't work out, because you move your stop into profit, you would catch these pips almost all the very time. That's crazy. That's amazing. Looks like JBPusd are dropping a lot of movement tonight. Wednesday night. I wonder why. Watch last video. Right for the start. Who's that? Who's talking?
That's me.
Who entered? Did somebody enter US 30?
No. I wanted to see if you could check something for me.
Yes,
I've been merging some of your ideas. I've been testing it this week, and it seems to be pretty good. I was wondering if you could do it on this pair and tell me what you think of it.
Okay, tell me.
So on your ADX, you use the RSI along with the ADX?
Mm-hmm.
So,
on the flip-flop method, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So basically what I've been doing on the 1 hour and the 4 hour is I take the RSI and just drag it over the actual ADX.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for yours, you probably use a different color to identify the RSI from the ADX indicators.
Okay.
And I found that seeing those together, knowing where the RSI crosses the 50 and where the ADX crosses the 20, it helps a lot, especially being
You
able
don't
to
drag
look.
them in the same window, do you?
Yeah, in the same window.
Man, your eyes are better than mine. That trips me up. I can't look at that. No way.
A little trippy. But
Well, you gotta think the 50 is up here, and then you have all that extra movement. Okay, so you're using them together. How are you using them?
So the same method that you use where when the RSI crosses the 50, like in this case where it crosses going down, and then your ADX is crossing the 20, the sellers are crossing 20 heading up.
So the reason why, okay, so just so we're on the same page, this tells the same story approximately as this, okay? Everyone wants to catch this overbought, oversold mentality, but we both know, anybody who's been trading long enough knows that this is overbought. This is like way overbought. This is in the 80s. Overbought is considered 70, right? And so what happened at this point? This is 70% overbought, and then it goes up to 80, and it keeps going this whole time. So if you only listen to this continued to go up that entire time. So that's why I don't trade the RSI overbought, oversold. That's why Irving kind of changed his even his strategy there for the parabolic star flip, and we kind of increased it a little bit. This is exactly why, because there's no such thing as overbought, oversold. And almost any chart we drop that on, we're going to prove that. So same concept with only trading the break of the zero. So like this crossover, everybody wants to take the first crossover and this overbought, oversold concept. What we're really looking for is none of this really matters until you break the zero. I mean, you can count that as a confirmation if you want, depending on your trading style. You're looking for it to break the 50. So essentially, this will tell you the same thing. So it just tells you in a different way. So we can see it more clearly. Now, sorry, I had to kind of input that because that just drives me nuts. People who are like, oh my gosh, overbought, oversold. I can't stand that. And that's like 7,000 pips worth of why right there.
Yeah, I was using it for whenever the RSI does cross the 50, and then just basically like you mentioned in the flip flop, once it's below the 50, then you're just looking for sells, and it's above you for buys, or you're staying in a buy basically.
Yeah, I mean you can look to re-enter. So like if you had enough confirmation, depending on the tools on your chart or smaller time frames, like your parabolic stars flipped back up, you'd enter for a buy. Your money link tree line turned back green, you'd enter for a buy. If this was all on top, you're still looking for buys. This is, this is huge momentum, obviously. But you had a fresh crossover, you're above the 50 still, you're still looking for buys. You're above this 50. So you can keep entering this all the way up, like nonstop, because you're trading with the trend. So 9 out of 10 times, that's going to work. That 10th time, of course, you're going to look for a buy. And if you didn't have like a super tight stop or move your stop into profit, it's like, let's take this time right here, or any of these. One of these you probably could hit your stop loss. But it basically works 90% of the time until it turns around. And then it'll work 90% of the time, you'll lose one until it turns around. Like, that's literally what it does, if you're asking me. Like, that's how I see it. So I'll take that one loss, know about the reversal, and then I'll write it 9 out of 10 times be right. Take that one loss, then okay, it's reversing, and I'm going to do the same thing. But yeah. But what were you asking? Sorry. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Basically, I was just saying that I took the RSI and I put it on the ADX just so that I have more space because I use it on my phone. And I've noticed that usually when the RSI crosses the 50 and the ADX does the crossover over the 20, that it usually lines up pretty good for the trend that it's going to change or for a good buy or sell.
I can't see
I've
that.
back tested it a bit versus the triple arrows, and it seems to line up pretty good with the triple arrows as well. No, that's not 100% because, like I said, I've only been using it for this week.
Well, first up again, so I won't talk about that until it's 30 days old. Because here's the thing, you're going to have like a really great week, and then you're going to have a blah week. And then this is where you can tell the real traders from the amateurs. And that's the people who are still using the exact same rules after 3 weeks. Like, they haven't changed anything. They haven't altered anything. They haven't decided, oh, but wait. Like, they're still following it after a super killer winning week, maybe a few bad losing days. And then all of a sudden, like that third and fourth week, that's when you'll see what the system is worth. So I don't know if that's like psychology or just, the axiom of trading, but test whatever. I have no idea what you're talking about. If you're talking about like the RSI crossing the momentum line, is that what you're saying? Like,
pretty much the same thing that you're saying, where it crosses the 50 is just that I put them on the same chart that it doesn't take.
I can't do that.
My
That's
phone.
No.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit trickier for you because I know you mentioned that even looking at the TDI is a lot going on there, which I agree with you on that.
No, that right there makes my eyes go, what? Like, I don't want to look at that. This isn't too, I can take this all day long. I'm good. Like, I would drop the stochastic on here. Like with the original settings, like I would drop that on here. No problem. And then when it super starts to cross, you're not taking overbought, you're taking it upon exit. Like, and that just gives you a little added confirmation, but again, we don't really need it. So that'll help you catch the bigger move. But do you see how this is on the bottom already?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. Sorry, I can't look at it your way. Your way is crazy, guy. Crazy. Telling
No problem. But yeah, I was just saying that based off of that setup, you pretty much would get, well, I mean, there's no 100% confirmation, but you would have got that same confirmation where the arrow already showed up on the sell for the candle that's currently moving.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, you would be. And you'll be wrong sometimes. I mean, it's going to happen. But if you're following enough rules, the purpose of having all this on your chart is, and following all the rules or enough of the rules, it's going to stop you from taking the false entries. So it'll stop you on these moments. Not 100% of the time, but just enough of the time to keep your accuracy high. So that's the purpose, is it stops you from stuff like this. But on US 30, this was still enough to, let's see. Yeah, that was still enough to pay off a house. Sorry, Irving's messaging me. Did it? Cool. Trying to get that PDF. I made the video. Somebody else can make the PDF. So that's fair. Totally fair, I think. But he volunteered his time to do that, so that's kind of awesome. So, but yeah, but I'm glad that it's working for you. It's awesome. It's definitely awesome. Are there any other questions or pairs you guys want me to look at? Let's go to the chat again. Star dot formed. Let's see. Peekaboo, who's there? You guys with the chat. You guys could like, where's Robert at? Isn't he supposed to be talking or singing right now? Hey, Jenny, in terms of the RSI, what about the RSI? How do I say your name? Melat? Melat?
Sorry, Jody, I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself.
No
But
problem.
in terms of the RSI, since you're already in US 30 on the 1 hour time frame, since it is below the 50, let me just look at my chart really fast. And it's been below the 50, I would say, since about Sunday-ish, Monday-ish. Would it still keep reoccurring, like the sell, or would it, like, how would you know when, like, or you can't predict that, like, when it would, like, turn for a buy, or, like, would it be a sell for the week? Like,
okay, so if anybody could predict that, they probably wouldn't be on this call. Like, I can predict enough, but here's what I can tell you. Like, everybody was looking for this move, but the reality is this move doesn't happen every time. So did that work out perfectly in this move? Absolutely. My chart happens to be there. But on this move, obviously we have a little bit of a different story. We would have been trying to buy here. And on US 30, it's moved so fast, so we would have been right enough pips, in all fairness. 1,000 pips. I mean, and that's actually measured at 1,000 pips. So on my other brokers, it's different. So obviously in this moment, this is more accurate. This is a more real life picture. So if I'm going to give you any advice on US 30, you're going to go way, way low. Like the highest time frame you're going to care about is like the 15 or 30 minute. Because anything more, I mean, even with a 6-figure account, why would you be willing to risk 6 figures? So right now we're on the 15-minute time frame. If I wasn't on a call with you guys, here's what I would do. This broke this. See how this made a low, right? Retested, couldn't break it. Probably try to catch some more buyers. You know, just it's telling its story like Pat said, right? And then boom, we have this impulse move to the downside. I would wait for it to come, and of course it's going to stop wherever this is, right? The odds of it retesting, again, that's about 50% of this candle. It's kind of ironic how that always works out. I would look for a sell at that point. But this would have to be a perfect entry. Because on this pair, this big of a pullback on a 0.01, let's see.
it's like $100.
Could potentially blow, depending on what your leverage is, could blow out of the water a $1,000 account. Gone. Instantly. So you have to be mindful of that. Because it did. Like it came back up to this point, could not make a higher high. So at this point, we are officially making lower lows. We have a high, low, kind of stuck around this low for a while. Here's our high. Here's our next high. So we're making lower highs. And we officially broke that low. That means we broke that fractal, however you want to measure it. The odds of this coming up about here and then dropping is pretty high. This isn't a pair that you guys should be playing with if you don't know. You need to have all of your rules hit on this pair.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been analyzing it for about 3 weeks now. And like I was able to catch like that impulse down, like that huge candlestick, just off like watching your videos and like the new star method that was introduced to us. And like I'm still a student of US 30 and I'm still trying to analyze it, but what I've noticed is that like the trend goes in the same direction for like the week.
well, who is this talking again?
Milo.
Milo. Okay. So there was a couple other gentlemen they were trying to make the same point. And that's fantastic, right? So I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart. And here's why I'm going to say, please don't assume that you think you know that. Because honestly, it's just not worth it on US 30. It's really not. So these are day separators, right? So today this is Thursday in trading days. You know that, right? So this is Thursday in trading days. This is Wednesday. This is Tuesday. This is Monday. Well, whatever. Am I doing that right? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, give or take. I might be wrong, but I'm not. So this is Friday of last week, and this is our Sunday, right? So that already, just on the first example, is inaccurate, because that means that as the beginning of the trading week, this went against you almost 3,000 pips, and now it's going to drop, right? So the very first week we can look at, there you go. Does that work out sometimes? And then everybody who tries to tell you that, they're going to say, look at this week. It happened all week long, and on this week it did, right? But if we look back in history, that is not the case. This is more than 5 days. Well, this is 5 days, right? It went up and it went down. It went up. Look back in history. Do you see that every 5 days it's going in the same direction? Or do you see just normal market movement? Do you see that? This is 1 day.
Yeah, I see.
So please don't be the guy who believes that. Will it happen sometimes? Yeah. Sometimes GN will drop all week long. Sometimes Euro USD will be buying all week long. But that doesn't mean like it always is going to buy or sell or make its move all week long. So this week it went up, and then like, I don't know what day this was, but if this was a Monday, then it went up for part of the week and then down for part of the week. So that's my first thing I would tell you about US 30. Secondly, in terms of US 30, you need to not be trying to catch that. You can, like, once you're in it and you're protected, let it run the whole time. You can let it run forever. But don't be trying to catch that entire move without protecting your profits and just hoping and praying it's going to go that direction all week. Because this doesn't always happen, as we just proved, okay? This is not the normal situation. In fact, a lot of people are saying that Euro or US dollar gets stronger or weaker or something, I don't know, during the summer months. So I don't know for sure. But please don't be the guy who thinks that, because the one time you're right is going to cost you exponentially on every other time, because you're going to bank on it. Once you're right, that could you imagine if you caught this move, right? And then you told yourself and you believed in yourself that, hey, I can catch, how many pips is that? 14,000 pips, right? 14,000 pips, because this moves the same direction. After you just made all that bank, the next week you're going to go so heavy planning on this to drop, and it does a pullback instead, or it decides to reverse instead, you're going to blow everything you made plus some. So yeah, that's my opinion if you're asking me. So don't be that guy. Please don't be that guy.
I'm a student of.
Yeah, just take, these trades are worth, so I'm working on a compounding sheet in terms of US 30. I have a really good accuracy with it, and I have more than 30 days of data on it now. But the thing is, compounding it is difficult. So, because you want to compound every trade you take. If you just stay in one trade for 14,000 pips, that actually isn't that fantastic. Because one trade for 14,000 pips is worth about, you know, give or take 100 different trades that were only worth 100 pips. It's literally worth less than that by, well, I don't know, I'd have to do the math and then tell you something accurately. But you got to think about it. If you're compounding every trade, your lot size on that 10th trade and on that 20th trade is so much higher that it doesn't pay to hold one trade for that long. Does that make sense? Like, according to compounding.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So compounding it is kind of the thing that I struggle with, and just trying to find a system that works really great. I think I'm going to stick with a system where at each account balance size, I increase a lot size, because that's working for me. Although, again, technically, I'm getting thousands of pips, or hundreds according to CoinEx, which is worth like 1,000 on this broker. But thousands of pips worth, and technically I'm not earning that much more than I was earning with regular pairs, because of the way it's compounded. So when you're increasing your risk that much, I mean, it's really got to be worth it. And this pair increases your risk a lot. So a lot. But it works. It works on like the 15-minute chart. That strategy will work beautifully. Beautifully. Test it. And again, every time it retested this 50, you would have got in for another buy. And if you had increased your lot sizes on these times, or every third trade or every fifth trade, or depending on what your balance was, your 10,000 pips would have been worth 3 to 5 times as much as catching your 14,000 pip one time. That's how I look at it anyways. So, yeah. Does that answer your question? Or
Yeah.
okay. Sorry. I'm just sitting here talking and talking and talking. So, any other pairs or questions, guys? There was a lot of moves actually tonight. Definitely. The market doesn't always move like that, but this was a good night. Very good night. Any other questions, comments, pairs you want me to look at? I want to look at odd CAD. That's crazy with US 30. That drop was huge. Okay, going once. Oh, wait, there's a chat. So I'm not going to enter on the 1 hour if it's against the 4 hour. Like if I'm going for a scalp, that's fine. But I differentiate because if the 1 hour is different than the 4 hour, I'm just going to skip it. Or I'm going for just half of the average daily range. But for swing trading, those two need to line up desperately. Desperately need to line up. Any other questions, guys? Boom. Going once. Going twice. Peekaboo.
Hey, Jenny, it's DJ again.
AJ.
You still haven't showed us how to set a alert for the 50 EMA when it crosses.
Okay, so let's do that actually. Good, thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna go to my VPS again. I'm gonna go to Google. I'm gonna minimize this. Let's see a chat. So you've got to have all of my moving averages are exponential. Every last one of them are all exponential. So I'm going to show you this and then I'm popping off. Yeah. Yeah, I am. Okay, so I'm on my new tab, right? TradingView.com. Okay. So wait for it to load. Now on the free accounts, you guys can set like 3 to 5 alerts. I don't remember exactly how many, but pick your 3 pairs. Okay, go to chart. You guys you have to sign up for an account. Let's see. Whatever. Wait for this to load. Well, this is all kinds of weirdly formatted on my VPS. Okay. So the screen is all funky. Okay, so I'm on my VPS right now. I'm gonna close this off. Okay. So let's say we just had just the 50 EMA, and you wanted to set an alert for the 15-minute time frame, right? So when price breaks the 15-minute time frame, on the 15-minute time frame breaks the 50, you can set it to where when it touches it, it'll go off. You can set it once per bar. You can set it at the close of a bar. So like right here is obviously really choppy. That would be rough. You'd have to disable that alert for that day because this would just be a pain in the butt all the way around. But in general, when it comes from the 50 and you get an alert, you've got a really good signal. You get a signal to sell, you get a signal to buy. If you're paying attention to your parabolic SARs and your RSI and stuff, you would know that this window, you're not going to take it for a sell, you're waiting for that buy, just based off of your other indicators. So what you would do is go right here. Once you have an account, you can get a free account. You can make a new alert. Okay. So you would keep it on USD CAD. You want a crossing of the 50 EMA I do it once per bar close, okay? Like, so if it's not going to tell me just because it moves on there. It's going to tell me once it closes. And then I stretch out the time to the max, which is usually like, I don't know how many weeks, but there we go. And you can label this whatever you want. It's like if you did a custom one for today, like if you were waiting for US 30 to come back and touch the 50, I mean, you can do a custom one however you want. But this one would say USD CAD, 15-minute crossing moving average, and then you hit create. You're going to want to have your cell phone number put in there, send email to SMS, and it'll send a text message to you. You can also make it play a sound on the computer. I don't like my email being super cluttered, so because it already is cluttered. There you go, and she'll pop up. Hit create, and that's it. And now when it crosses this, it's going to send me an alert. And then I'll just line it up with other things. So pick a handful of pairs. I promise you, if you pick just a couple of pairs, you will have plenty of alerts. So just a couple.
Thank you. That seems like it's about to come in handy. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. It comes in really, really handy. And as you guys grow and learn other things, like there's a lot of free ways to do it. And Pat's coming out with that dashboard soon for the daily dots and the 4-hour dots. So he's kind of got to work some bugs out on it. But if you combine that with this, take it from your phone, 10 pips. All you need is 35 trades to hit 6 figures or 7 figures, depending on your percentage of growth and your account size. 35 winning trades. And what like other people who are using those spreadsheets are telling me is, okay, so you got to think on one day they hit the level, on the next day they were a little shy. On that third day, they doubled it. On that fourth day, they hit the level. On that fifth day, they hit the level. So on that sixth day, they took a loss. But that seventh day, they're still right around where they should have been anyways, because it kind of balances out in the wash. And then that's just kind of how it works if you're willing to follow it. It works really, really well. It'll all come out in the wash. It'll take you 35 to 45 deadly accurate trades to actually hit insane amounts of money. Insane. So.
And to hit 35 trades, typically that will take about a month or two, right?
No. I mean, well, how much time do you have? What's your schedule like? Do you have kids? I mean, how good are you at trading? There's 1,000 variables in that. Do you trade London?
Yes, I do.
Then for you, it should not take you a month, because you have London is. I don't trade London, but if I did, I'd wait for an hour after that market manipulation, and I would take. Well, depends on what your risk is. What account do you have?
Well, right now I have the AAFX, but I know you said earlier that we should probably look into something that has a tighter spread.
Oh, for this strategy, yeah, you're going to need a tighter spread. So you can message me, and you can use my Hugo's Way affiliate, but then we have to message them because none of the affiliates actually, I got credit for none of the stinking affiliates at all. So now they all have to get messaged in for if I want to get credit for them and do the one-on-one coaching, which kind of stinks, but I would use either CoinX or Hugo's Way, which is lower leverage. I mean, so you got to pick your poison. You can use the higher leverage, huge lots. So with Hugo's Way, you could do it, with AFX, you could do it in a very tiny amount of trades. But if your accuracy isn't above 90%, I wouldn't bother. So if your accuracy is still maybe in the 70s and 80s, you could still do it in that 30 to 40 range with a 500 to 1 leverage. And the spreads are tighter. So that, and pick pairs where the spread is tighter. Don't pick the pair that has the huge spread. So like GU has a tight spread. All the USDs have tight spreads. A couple of the JPYs have tight spreads. Most of the NZDs do not, but then again, they move really fast. So you have to pick your kind of poison there. But just pick a couple of trades, however many they let you have for free. CAD, CHF, let's see.
Okay, I'll message you to get that referral link. Thank you, Jenny.
Okay, awesome. You're welcome. And then you have to message them because it doesn't even count. So, and that stinks for me because I spent a lot of hours one-on-one coaching, and then I was kind of shocked that it didn't work. So who wanted me to look at CAD CHF? Peekaboo. Does your phone not work? I'll go back to the broker. Let's see. So you want to look at CAD CHF?
Yeah, I'm currently losing.
So you bought it? You bought it here?
I bought it.
When did you buy it?
I think that's Canadian, maybe Canadian.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're a little bit muffled and I want to hear you. Can you say that again?
You're on Canadian, maybe CAD CHF is talking about.
That would help. Thank you. That would help. When did you buy it?
0.7464.
So at the beginning of the week, somebody was talking about CHF, and I said CHF had a lot of news, right? She bought it somewhere in here. Is this where you bought it? Guy, are you there? Hello?
Time zone, so
Okay, well, if you bought it somewhere in here, I'm guessing, give or take. Okay, I'm
somewhere there.
Yeah, somewhere there. So you bought it like an hour ago?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Maybe 2 hours ago.
So that's perfect, somewhere in there. So what confirmations did you use to buy it?
I was looking probably 15 minutes. I had 2 arrows pointing up.
Were you ever
And also ADX was pointing up. The buyers were up with the momentum.
Okay, so I like it so far. Okay, what else?
MACD, the green line is above the red. And that's
So
pretty much it.
were you ever in profit when you took this trade or no? Not really. 6-4. Nope, not really. Not enough to cover the spread, huh? And did it hit your stop loss? What's your stop loss down here?
My stop loss is just below the 4 hourly dots. So it's about to hit it.
About to hit it. Well, at this point, you can pray that it's a double bottom. That's about it. And like we talked about with somebody in the group, we mentioned CHF has a ton of news on Thursday, so the odds of this kind of acting super funky. I missed a lot of really good moves on USD Chef, primarily because I didn't want to play with it. I didn't want to play with all that news, and because, as Pat says, this is a safety currency, the amount of the psychology behind it, I would say, is just a little different. It's like on the 1 hour, on the 15-minute, I'm on the 15-minute, yeah. It was trying to break the 50, and if you got in on this next candle, okay, your stop loss would be pretty tight if you were kind of following the parabolic stars. So you, according to my rules and what's on my chart, you didn't do something wrong. There's not a lot of advice I could give you that says, hey, you can improve this. The only advice I can give you is this had a lot of news. These red arrows were the CAD news. I'm pretty sure this was CAD news. And then you've got CHF news. So this pair just had too much news for you to be playing with. That's probably the only piece of advice, at least from what I'm looking at, because otherwise it looks like you followed enough rules. I mean, depending on, I'm assuming that your MACD broke the 0, 50, RSI broke the 0, ADX was looking good, this was pointing up, so that was a good decision. This was a momentum candle, which I love, and it broke the 50. You have 2 arrows, money tree, string line, turn green. I don't know if this was here or not, so I don't know if this would have been in your favor or against it. I don't know if this was here or not. So maybe you could have followed the daily dots. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. But I don't think that you did like something. Yeah, so you had support here saying this was going down because this was saying buy. Your next dots were saying sell. I mean, so from what I can see, the only things you could improve on was news and paying more attention to the daily dots. Otherwise, that looks like a good trade to me. But I don't follow those rules on the 15-minute chart, so I wouldn't know a whole bunch about it.
So if you look at the 1 hour chart, would you consider selling it at this point? Because we got the triple arrows 2 times.
So on the triple arrow system, this is telling you to sell. So you would have been trying to buy against it. I mean, that's it. That's where you can improve, is the triple arrow system is telling you to sell. You had dots telling you it was a sell. And while on the smaller time frame it was telling you to buy, it wasn't like a confirmed thing. So
would you be selling it now?
if it breaks this resistance, I would sell it. If it broke this, well, no, because I'm not going to enter it because of that news. And also the U.S. dollar had that that oil news today, so that this was affected by news in 3 different ways actually. Let's see. Well, let me go back to that. So if you were trying to take a 15-minute trade, that needs to be in line with the 1 hour or whatever.
I guess I was trying to catch the pullback for 10 pips.
But you can do that, but you have to follow the rules. So for this strategy, the rules are, so you were doing the now and later, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so the now and later says this was telling you to buy, but the 1 hour was not in line, correct?
Okay.
The now and later strategy, which again is the only strategy I don't talk about or use, so I'm probably not the best person to ask, to be honest and just humble and honest. So what I can tell you from just being a trader, like a really good trader, first off, you broke the rules because the now and later trade says that it needs to match up on the 15, 30, and 1 hour for sure. Second off, you don't trade when there's heavy news. And all I can do is like really lovingly tell you these things that you can improve, so moving forward you get a little better. And then third, this had support. This had daily dots for sure because this came up hours ago. This would have came up here. And then this had 4 hour support too. So you had 2 supports saying it was selling, triple arrow saying it was selling. So trying to catch it for 10 pips, that is not the same strategy. If the now and later strategy needs to be in line with the triple arrows, okay?
On the 30 minutes and 1 hour.
Yes, that is literally, that is what the now and later says. The now and later says it needs to match up on the 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 15.
Okay, so would you advise whenever there are oil news, we shouldn't be trading the CAD pairs?
I avoid most red folder news out of habit unless I'm in a swing trade. If I'm swing trading, when I pick my pairs at the beginning of the week, one of the deciding factors is the pairs with the least amount of news. So like once I'm in profit, I'll move my stop loss up into profit, and then I'll let it run. But either way, I avoid the red folder news. Like I'm not looking to scalp CAD during the news or after, because as I just mentioned, that stuff takes some time. Would I be looking to sell this? If it breaks this resistance, so again, we have a seller's triple arrow saying to sell. Let's take a look. 4 hours is saying a buy, but it's definitely a pullback possible. Let's take a look what the daily is saying. Not sure. Daily saying buy. So with the 1 hour saying sell, here's what I would wait on this pair. And all I can do is help you see what I see, so you learn to see things in your way. I would want to wait for, because technically, I don't know if we broke the trend line here. Let's find out. This is all really, really simple stuff. So pretending like that stuff didn't happen yet this would have been a break of the 50 and a break of the trend line, right? Depending on when we drew the trend line. If we're going from stair step to stair step, and where price is at currently, I want it to break this trend line, okay? Where price is at currently, okay? And I want it to break this low. So let me get my little annotate tool, which I'm allowed to have today. I'm gonna make it pink. So I want it to break down, retest, and then drop. This is what I'd wait for. Okay, that right there. That's what I want to see. Otherwise, there's a good chance the price could just come down to this low and then reject and go up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think looking at the daily going up, so it might be better to stay away from this pair for now.
I mean, the long-term trend on this is up. And, well, I don't know, you've got a really strong cross here happening on this time frame. So that's nice. That really good rejection here, I like that. We're on the 1 hour. Yeah, I don't know. Those are the confirmations I would be looking for. Because we've got a nice, we're below the 50 on the RSI, that's good. We broke below the 50 EMA, that's good. Kind of retested it, and it's still going down. Money tree saying sell. We've got 2 arrows, and our support is up top. Like, I would be looking to sell this pair. I would have been looking to sell it here. So I would be up in profit already. But now if I'm going to take a late entry, I want it to be a very confirmed entry. So I wanted to break previous support. But also this market gapped up, so there's a good chance it's going to play around and then just shoot up. So I don't know. But I want to take confirmed stuff. So if it comes down and retest this, like I told my friend today, I'm still going to wait until I have new confirmations that are all saying buy. I want enough pieces of evidence that say buy before I take the trade.
So how long would you say it's after the news? How long should we wait?
It depends on whether you're scalping or not and what kind of news it was. As we saw, that one news didn't even come out for like 30 minutes later. So I don't know, maybe an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. You'll know if it happened. Like, you'll know that something happened, and you'll see it happening. You'll see it live happening.
Well, in this case, I don't see like a real major move.
No, this didn't, but there was oil today. So this is uncertainty. It's getting ready to hit some previous structure. Just here, we have strong structure, which this has been structure for all week long. So the 10th, all week long, this has been structure. So I would want to wait. I'd want to wait to see what prices it does at this point.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much, Jenny.
You're welcome. I hope that helps. So if you go to properties, you can go to show period separators. Hit OK, and boom. There you go. That's how you can show the different days. So, yes, sir. Okay, guys, we've been on for quite a little while here, so if there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. I hope any of this kind of helped you guys, and I will talk to you here soon.
Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome, guys. Have a fantastic evening.
Good night, Jenny.
Good night. Sweet dreams, everyone. Hey, girl.
Oh.
We'll do our one-on-one this coming week. So the house is on the market and sold, and I'll have a ton of time actually this weekend, where if you call me, I'm going to want to escape to Starbucks and talk to you. So we should do our one-on-one this weekend, okay?
All right, no problem.
Yes, girl. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Good night, guys. Sweet dreams.
Thank you.